the one and only Darren Green Show. Hello and welcome again to the Darren Green Show, your weekly dose of pop culture news, music, social media, gossip, and reality TV. Please be sure that if you're watching this video, leave a comment. We got to be good in the recommendations, so please leave a comment. Child, curse me out, leave an emoji, do something. Just leave a comment, girl. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel by now, girl, what's going on? Subscribe to that goddamn channel. And for the audio listeners, hey, how are you? Okay. Be sure to leave a rate if you can, and review also if you're on Apple Podcasts. And from wherever you're listening to the podcast, hey, how y'all doing? What's going on? It's not one of our traditional episodes today. We are going to be recapping season 11, episode 6 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I believe the title is called Peace Interrupted. Okay. We have a lot to get into here. Yeah, like I said, there wasn't a lot of topics going on. I mean, there was some things I could have talked about, y'all, how China is clocking a lot of these fashion girlies tea and some stuff like that. Maybe I'll talk about it on Wednesday. I promise you I will give you a full-fledged episode with hot topics. It just was not in the cards this weekend for me to make a episode. So we're going to review Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? We're going to try to get this out on Monday. So this is like first time in a long time doing an episode the day of. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on before this episode even aired. You know, Kenya is still crashing out. She is still dragging people online. Well, she's dragging, last time I checked, she was dragging production child, or she was dragging the people that was on Andy Cohen's podcast, okay, because they said it was revenge porn. It is revenge porn. And come to find out, because we see this in the episode too, but also somebody made mention to it, these were underage, like, photos of Brittany Edie. These were when she was, I believe she said 18, 17, 16, in that age range. So the fact that you basically just plastered kitty porn all over your opening of your salon, but that's, we're past that. And, it happened, it got aired. Here, this is where we are, but we're still talking. And you're still dragging people. You're shading Cynthia. You're shading Portia and people that, decided to, girl, we not going to mess with you right now. We not. And then you're trying to drag Andy and his people saying that, oh, well, no, your co-hosts are ignorant because at the end of the day, SA is when you're raping somebody. I'm like, girl, there's many forms of sexual assault. Let's keep it there. Kenya is not smart. Kenya is really not socially aware. And somebody said this on TikTok. I don't know, I'm referencing somebody on TikTok, girl. But Kenya is not going to see her fault until this hits her financially, until this hurts her pocket. And it kind of already is, because I'm over here hearing that the salon is only open for 4 hours in a day. Girl, you're not getting that many 4 hours? You're open for 4 hours? Girl, how them hairdressers getting paid? You get what I'm saying? It'll be a matter of time. And then I'm hearing that she ain't keep on that house. They saying they trying to get that house from her. I'm like, oh, girl, you do all this hasty business ideas and putting $400,000 in your from your damn child's college fund. Honey, you on the brink of closing down before you even got the thing off the road. Okay. And I'm pretty sure because she's probably offering luxury hair stuff, it's probably not cheap. So, the average Atlantean over there, child, unless they rich, and ain't nobody rich going over there because, first of all, you done isolated people. It's just, Kenya is just, I can go on about Kenya. This is not about Kenya. This is about episode 6. Like I said, the episode was called Peace Interrupted, okay? This was the fallout from the last episode from which y'all saw. Okay, the salon situation, everybody is just, up in arms and stuff like that. We cut to Brittany Edie. Brittany Edie starts off the episode because people want to know, hey, what's going on, girl? She is mortified. She is very emotional. She's talking with her husband. Anyway, she's speaking with that husband, and he's consoling her, and she's just explaining how I tried to, extend the olive branch. I spent $250 on some flowers. I'm like, girl, you could have went, girl, you spent $250 on that, girl. I'm going to went to ShopRite, got that. And guys, I don't really care for her that much. Let's be very clear on that. Not for nothing, right? But I do feel that her crash out right now is kind of valid, kind of, because when we get to the end, I'm like, girl, okay, I think your anger is a little bit misplaced, but we'll get into that. But yeah, she reminded us that these are underage pictures of herself. Like, girl, like, how the hell can you not get arrested? Like, girl, on some kitty orange type shit. Girl, if she was underage, that's bad. That is so bad. That is really bad. Let a man do that. You know, and I'm not trying to make this gender war conversation, but let a man do that. Like, when I tell you he'll be on the register so fast, rightfully so. Okay? Because we ain't posting no kids, no underage pictures over here, child. But damn. Like, Kenya really dodged the bullet, but she really didn't because she got fired. But anyway, Kelly shows up, right? And she came bearing IV fluids. I'm like, what's up with y'all on these IV fluids, child? What would that do for you, child? Tell me in the comments, what does IVF fluids do, child? If I'm trying to look younger, honey, let me know if that worked, child. But Brittany believes that Kenya wanted her to be there so that she can get out of character. I definitely agree. You know, Kenya is known for being really shady when it comes to, oh yeah, I have you at my, like kicking you out of events that she's in. That time she tried to kick out Shamia off a boat. Like literally a boat that was like in the freaking lake. Okay, honey, it is. She, walked the plank almost type shit. Like she kicked Portia out of her events because Portia didn't, dress how she wanted. She wanted her to dress in Baps, Holly Berry from Baps. And Portia was like, girl, no, I'm Holly Berry or Dorothy Dandridge, okay? And she got, so Kenya, if she wanted to, she could have kicked out Britt. She wanted Britt to be there. She did not expect Britt to walk out. Okay, let's be very clear. Because she expected Britt to just be there and just like, all right, fine, well, whatever. But, she walked out because she wasn't acknowledging her. You wanted her to be there. You wanted her to get out of character. But, girl, that would have been, had she been there. Okay. Had she been there, Kenya would have got, Brittany would have got to her. Because, I mean, that space, that little area where they had that little party, that was close-knit. Girl, it's a blessing that Brittany probably wasn't there because she probably would have did some stuff. I'm not going to hold you. Anyway, so it cuts to Shamia. Shamia invites Portia, Kelly, and Angela. Portia was very surprised. Obviously, everyone is getting their opinions on what happened at that salon event. Portia says she's very surprised at Kenya's display. She's never seen Kenya at this moment. And I'm just like, Portia, like, girl, I mean, not at this magnitude, but Kenya did do some crazy shit before, though. Let's be very clear on that. I guess in that moment, she was still trying to like, okay, well, I never seen this before, but girl, you probably seen something. Girl, Kenya, this is the worst that she's done. Let's be very clear. But I don't know why Portia was so surprised. Now, why Kelly gonna be like, well, Portia, what if that happened to you? Now, Portia was like, well, if that was me, honey, we are done. Let me let y'all know something, child. When she said, I'm like, girl, Kelly knew what she was doing because Kelly knew that Portia get down. Okay, she get the scrapping. I know if anything like that ever happened to Portia, girl, they're gonna have to have multiple securities to get her off of whoever she's trying to get. Now, Angela was there too, right? And she kind of presses Portia a little bit. She's, so what were you saying about my husband? What was that? What was that statement at the dinner? And da-da-da-da-da. Okay, girl, honey. Okay, like she basically says, I was just joking, but see, I ain't know, I don't know you like that. We not friends, so I definitely apologize, but no, it was just a joke. It was not, nothing for anything to be serious or whatever. They kind of talk it off or whatever. And Drew shows up late as hell. Hey, girl, how you been? Catch us up. Because, girl, I feel like I have not seen her in a couple weeks, child. They get to talking about divorce. Portia and Drew ain't talking right now. So they ask Portia, like, how are things? Well, Drew comes in talking about how she's dealing with stuff with, the divorce and her divorce and stuff like that. And then that's when they start asking Portia, was like, well, how are you doing? And Portia just, she's talking about her divorce. That was a moment that they shared because, Drew and Portia is kind of going through the same thing right now, child, at this point. And then Portia, she was talking about her situation with Simon. She says that she claims that, he is putting out rumors or claims that her mom was helping Portia break into the house. She also says that, Pilar, her daughter misses Simon, and she basically texted him like, hey, like Pilar misses you. I mean, he's leaving her on red. Like, he wants nothing to do with her and her daughter, child. He wants nothing to do with Portia and the family, child. Yeah, so that was a little bit of a sad moment, but, at the end of the day, girl, he's a scammer. Girl, that's what they do, child. Kelly asked Drew, Drew and Portia, like, how are things with y'all? What's going on? Portia says, I'm moving forward. I have nothing to do with this. I have no reason to beef with you. I got other stuff going on. But my thing is though, Portia, you kind of started with her. Like you cursed her out of nowhere, child. You know, this whole situation, this whole beef is stupid. I agree. But Portia, you started it. Okay. You got mad because she was taping with someone with freaking Dennis. And at the end of the day, girl, you got them texts. Like you got them texts. At the end of the day, if she was texting you all this time, talk about something, oh yeah, I'm going to meet with Dennis, I'm going to work with Dennis, this, that, and the third, you should have called her. You get what I'm saying? And if working with Dennis around the same time that y'all slated to tape together, obviously he was going to be taped. Okay, so that like Portia be, like I said, Portia be acting dumb, and now she wants to end this little situation that she has with Drew. I'm just like, well, you know what? Fine, because this beef was fake anyway. I don't really feel like these girls are mad at each other. Honestly, I don't feel it. Anyway, it cuts to Kelly and her daughter. They're having like a little yoga session, which was a little cute. You know, a little cute little moment. She, you know, details her divorce. And everybody going through the divorce, child. But like, she stops the little yoga session to talk about some, oh my God, they're writing an article about me, like about the husband or her ex-husband or whatever. I'm like, girl, at the time of you taping, half the world don't even know who you are. So what makes you think these blogs is talking about you? What blog? I want to know what blog, because you know, every time they talk about a blog that features a story about the cast member, you see the blog, like you see their headline, you see their logo, and you see like a little nut grab of what the article is about. Girl, what blog? Girl, ain't no goddamn blog. Her blog, like you know what I'm saying. I was like, girl, and then but they did have a little cute little moment. The daughter said, when they was like, I don't want to get married because I don't want to end up like you. No offense. But she was like, no offense. I'm like, girl, she got your shadiness from you. But yeah, I mean, like going through her divorce and apparently her ex-husband saying that he wants to unalive her. I mean, I could see why any child probably does not want to be in a relationship because they, it was reflected of their parents and how they treat each other and how they are in their relationships and stuff. So I definitely see where the daughter is coming from here. That was a cute little moment. So it cuts to Drew. We flying by because it wasn't a sleeper episode, but it was just like, okay, so we're going to talk about the situation that happened, hey, but it really wasn't too much going on. So it cuts to Drew's at the house. Now she has to be packing. Okay. She has to go because it's in their agreement that, there's a certain time where Drew has to leave the house and Ralph basically takes over the house with the kids. And my thing is this, girl, Drew is better than me. Why don't you move out? We're going to get to that in a little bit. We're going to get to the reason why I think she's not moving out in a little bit. Because Ralph shows up out of nowhere and it's, oh, she got to go. I was like, dang, she can't even finish her damn French toast and bacon, girl. She just spawned out of nowhere like, hey, I'm here. You got to go now. Oh, my goodness. So they get to talking and I guess he was supposed to cover for the exterminator or whatever. And she said, I've been paying for the last couple of weeks, but, they said, our lawyer said that it should be done for you because I have a lot going on. I have a lot on my plate. And then he was like, you don't have anything on your plate. You don't pay bills. I was like, and he had his little confessional and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, Ralph is a housewife. Okay, let's speak clear on Zach, honey. Ralph is a housewife because not you cutting. Okay, he said, what do you pay? You don't pay no bills in here. You don't pay no bills. I was like, girl, just pay the goddamn pest control. So anyway, she storms off and I think she needs to move. And I'm starting to believe that she's still living there for a storyline. Because it wouldn't be that interesting if they were, okay, I'm dropping the kids off. Okay. It makes you're like, oh my God, they're forced to live with each other. Like he has to live in the basement and they have to figure out how they're going to deal with it. Drew can freaking move. There is no stipulation. I don't believe that they told them that they can't tell the kids that they got a divorce. Like obviously the kids, and some of them kids look old as fuck. They know what divorce is. Okay, if he living downstairs in the basement and not living in that damn room with the mom, that means that mommy and daddy's not together right now. So I don't believe that shit. I think she is staying here for a storyline because it looks so interesting that, oh my goodness, they're getting into little arguments and fights and fuss and they're still in the same house. Like Drew is so, I want to love her. I want to like her. I didn't like her when she first came on the show, but I started to grow to like her. But it's starting to really look like she's just unauthentic. And it's like a front almost because, girl, you can move. Like, girl, you live in Atlanta. And I'm not saying, like, All the more reason to have your little Kenya moment. Oop, the ghettos. Okay, get a little hotel for a little bit, or get like a nice little townhome. You get what I'm saying? Or an apartment that got multiple rooms. You get what I'm saying? You can do that, girl. Now, is the funds really not there, girl? Is the funds really not there? Because if that's the case, then okay. But other than that, if it's not that, then girl, why are you still in this man house or still in this house? Period. Girl, I will give it to him. You can have his house. I don't want it. If that means I gotta deal with your stinking ass in my damn basement and have to deal with you, and I have to leave my home, the comfort of my home, for a period of time because we're doing this stupid thing, then I'm just move. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But that's the life of Drew Child. Anyway, Custom Shamia's in the studio. She's down there to make some beats. It's so interesting watching housewives like attempt to have a music career. I mean, look, I ain't trying to shade Shamia, but girl, I mean, and she really likes to sit there and say, well, I work with Carrie Hilson. I'm like, okay. Who the fuck is Carrie Hilson, girl? Okay. Yeah, anyway, Angela shows up and she brings up the Portia shade thing, right? Mind you, Portia is the whole scene here. Like, they brought up Portia, I want to say 3 times. I'm like, okay, Shamia, come on now. She brings up the whole shady thing, when she was playing her music and Portia was talking over it and saying that wasn't Shamia and that it was Drew or whatever. Angela was like, it's being so messy. And, Shamia claims that Portia did apologize after the dinner. And that's where I need Shamia to understand. Portia did that it was very strategic that Portia did that. Because now that she apologized off camera, off the mic, you get what I'm saying? Now you have no reason to really drag on this storyline of you being mad at her not, liking your song or being shady or something like that. No, girl, you apologize in front of everybody. You get what I'm saying? But she did say she apologized. And then she also talked about how, like, Shamia, she says that I kind of prioritize people over myself. And I see that. I definitely see that in Shamia, because Shamia could really say a lot. And she don't. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not even, because this music thing is petty and stupid, but Portia has done some real, I don't remember everything, all the details, but I definitely remember they had a straining relationship. Like, it was very weird. Portia was very weird around Shamia, because I think it was that Shamia was hanging around Candy and them. And I guess Portia didn't like that because Portia don't like Candy, or didn't like Candy, or whatever the case is. Like, it was very weird. She was very weird. And I feel like she doesn't really say nothing, and she don't really speak up for herself. I'm waiting for them to start beefing, honestly, because I feel like that would be that's a real, genuine disconnect that those two have. And it's not being addressed because Shamia doesn't want to step up to the plate and be like, hey, bitch, I don't like how you've been treating me. Like, now Drew shows up, child, and, they get to keying and talking and all this other stuff. They got Shamia singing the song on the confessional. I ain't got a problem with the song. The song just sounds a little busy to me. I'm being honest. I'm not going to lie, child. The song sounds just a little bit busy. It is kind of housewife fashion, though. It's giving housewife song. So, okay. They bring up Portia again. Okay, because Drew came up in there. And that's when I would say, they were talking about, when it comes to, like, when you're promoting something, like you have a podcast or you're a singer or you got something going on, you can't always expect your friends to like tune in and be like engaged and stuff like that. And I know that kind of sounds messed up because, your friends should be a support system. But at the end of the day, girl, you trying to get people that don't know you, that mess with your stuff. Your friends and your family are not going to mess with your stuff, because at the end of the day, it's you. Like, they cannot remove you from the content. It's weird. Even for me, like sometimes when I'm like, I have friends that have music and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I don't know, I can't listen to it. Like, it's not like I can't support. Like, I repost, I share, I do what I got, but I can't listen to you because it's weird. It's kind of weird. But anyway, Drew took it upon herself to take a dig at Portia, talk about something. Well, Portia should be happy that you're working with Dennis and that you're going to be making some good music because, it could help pay, Portia's daughter's college fund. I'm just like, Drew. Drew got this thing where she'll say something and she really thinks that, like, she really tries to look genuine while she's saying it. But bitch, we know that you're being shady. Like it could really help Pilar's college funds. Girl, even Shamia in the car was like, girl, you go too far. What you need to say that for, child? Like I said, this whole event was a Portia moment, child. They would talk about Portia, child, and I understand in this moment, I can understand how Portia could look at everybody in this room sideways. Okay. Anyway, we get a scene with Britt and her mother. Very quick, very brief. She was talking to her mother about the situation. She was getting emotional. Her mother gives her words of encouragement. I love that little shade that she gave about Kenya. She was like, "You supposed to be Miss USA. You supposed to be uplifting these girls, and you doing this." I was like, "Girl, but ain't Miss USA the swimsuit? I mean, it's a swimsuit thing. It's not. It's like a fashion thing. Wasn't like they weren't doing no charitable shit, or were they? Shout out to me in the comments if they were." Anyway, so that was a cute little moment there. Shamia meets up with Portia, and they're at this little mini golf thing, and I'm like, where is this place? This place looks interesting. I want to know, child, because I want to go there when I go to Atlanta, child. But they get to talking. They're talking about their stuff, her situation with her song. Shamia claims that she won't press Portia on it. I don't think she should, because that's not a good enough reason for her to press Portia. It's not that deep. But they started talking about Dennis and Drew, and how she said that, well, Dennis told me that they're not going to tape. Well, it looks like Dennis lied, because we definitely got a taping with Drew and Dennis. So I'm pretty sure when she watched it, she probably was like, oh, wow, that nigga lied. Anyway, so the last scene of the show, and this is where things get a little interesting, child. Now, Kelly hosts a brunch. Now, she said she was going to do that early in the show. I forgot to tell y'all that. Portia's not coming. Portia's sick. You get what I'm saying? And okay. Kelly makes a little comment. She said, "Oh, well, get well and make sure you don't take nobody, man." Kelly is so shady, and Kelly is starting to grow on me though. I didn't like Kelly in the first, because I feel like her and Brittany Edie was too East Boom Boom. But Kelly is funny as hell, girl. I'm like, nah, you still telling this lady not to take somebody, man? Oh my god, girl. Angela shows up, and she's there. She's supporting. I don't have much to say about Angela other than what we about to get into. Britt shows up, okay, and they start, the ladies start speaking and mingling and all this other stuff. Kelly mentions that her husband is out of prison and that he still isn't paying the child support. Well, he just got out of prison, girl. Like, you think he got somebody, child? He's trying to make sure his money's together and everything. Look, okay, but that's kind of weird that he's out of prison though, because I'm like, ooh, child, you better bump up security, child. Anyway, they get to talking. They're all together. So I believe it's Shamia, it's Kelly, it's Brittany Edie just showed up, Angela, Drew. Drew shows up like last. She always late, child. In that damn tutu. She had a tutu on. I'm like, girl, how old are we? Are we in prom? Basically, Kelly puts the girls on the spot. She said she puts Drew and Angela on the spot. She said, well, we got to get to the bottom of this. And you guys, I know you spoke to Kenya. You kind of were consoling her. You were listening to her. She was very emotional. Brittany Edie, because they're sitting next to her, she turns to the side and was like, and what were you and what conversation you were having, my dear? Angela basically says, yes, we did speak to Kenya, we did console her, and then Brittany gets upset and snaps at Angela, essentially, basically saying that, well, it started when Brittany Edie was like, well, my license is about to be suspended, or it's close to being suspended, like it's threatened or whatever. And then Angela, because she has an insurance license, she's really, is that true? And that's when Brittany snapped at her, because she was like, well, yeah, it is true. And at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on. They go back and forth. And basically Britt says that it's not that it's taken away. It's the fact that it's under investigation. Okay. So this situation happened, and I'm not saying I don't believe Brittany Edie, but like the way you made it sound like, girl, my license is gone indefinitely. Girl, no, that's not what you said. And that's not what happened. And I think that's what Angela's trying to say. And I think they're upset. Brittany Edie is upset because they spoke to Kenya. Somebody was going to speak to Kenya. And I knew Drew did, because Drew stayed there, And I said this is going to happen. I said they're going to drag Drew because Drew stayed, and I'm pretty sure she probably spoke to Kenya and probably got the gossip. Brittany Edie says that, oh, Angela, you're not reading the room. You're not reading the room. You need to shut up. And she started cursing at her, and I'm just like, okay, they moved Angela on the other side, child, because it seemed like they got a lot of smoke going on right now. I think that Brittany Edie's frustration in this scene is misplaced, because she can't really get rowdy with who she want to get rowdy with, and that is Kenya. And being that she found out these people are talking to Kenya, she had it in her head that, oh, they're completely taking Kenya's side and they're consoling her and this, that, and the third. You guys need to be supporting me. And my thing is this: it's like Angela was one of the first. Now you can drag Drew because Drew stayed there and then said nothing the entire time. But Angela said she left and she said that was wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure, they're taping, so she's not seeing this, of course. She didn't see it. But yes, no, what Angela and kind of Drew was trying to say was like, you got to understand your part in the whole situation. You kind of instigated it. And what Kenya did was wrong. Yes, that is true, but you still instigated. Two things can be true at the same time. You instigated this situation. You made it your business that you were going to beef and berate Kenya, and Kenya responded. Granted, what Kenya's response was wrong, and she shouldn't have did that. That was revenge porn, and she deserves everything that she deserves. But you also started it. And that's what Angela was trying to say. She's not trying to hear that right now because it's a very traumatizing time for her. Like, her past is being drugged up and it's affecting her businesses. Her family knows about it. She's mortified. And I get that. But like, your anger is a little bit misplaced here. Like, you come up for Angela, that it didn't even need to be like that. It did not even need to be like that, honestly. Now, the part that got me was when Angela was like, well, you know why, or tell us why Kenya's not here. You know why. I think she knows something, child. I think she knew what was going on. Everybody knows what's going on behind the scenes, child. They said they got rid of Kenya to appease Britt because Britt was probably going to take legal action against probably Bravo, and Bravo don't need that. And the best thing I think, and we talked about this before and on previous platforms, I think that Bravo had a good dealing in this situation. Obviously, y'all taped it. Y'all are an accessory to a crime. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why nobody's taking legal action, because we didn't hear anything of Britt taking legal action as of right now, but it's probably because they probably gave her a little bit of a bone. We'll keep you on the show. We'll give you a little something extra for this situation. And all you got to do is just play the part and be a housewife. Angela, everybody, they know what's going on here. They know exactly what's going on here, okay? Now, the part where Brittany is snapping at Drew, that was crazy too, because Drew was like, Drew was trying to be neutral, and then Brittany was not having it. It's like, you're either with me or against me. And I was just like, girl, okay, y'all need to go ahead. Y'all need to go ahead. They ended up, Shamia had some words of encouragement saying that at the end of the day, we got to stick together. We can't, do that whoop-de-woo and wop-de-wop and kumbaya and all that shit. They bring in Shamia to just always be the middleman and the person that's just going to bring peace and prosperity to the group, child. And then they start dancing, and that's the end of the show. Now, I did watch a little bit of the Watch What Happens live with Brittany Edie, and basically, like, they got into some things. Okay, so for whatever reason, I can't play the actual video. The audio is not coming in, so this is just something I have to deal with now. But anyway, in the Watch What Happens live clip, she basically talks about how, Andy asked her, like, did you have a gun on the premises? And you understand that we know we had an investigation, and that's not like what we do here. Andy was like, we don't do that here. And then she was like, honestly, I didn't have a gun. I don't know why I said it. It was just very out of place. And I was like, girl, y'all are crazy. It's real shady in these streets, child. Now, for the next episode, we do see Portia is taking the girls out. I think they somewhere down south. I don't know where they're going, child. I forgot. But she taking the girls out, and she didn't invite Drew. Not they icing out Drew. Girl, why would she ice out Drew like that? But anyway, that's happening. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not seeing anything crazy going on. I think that, the rest of the part of the season is just gonna go with the flow until we get Phaedra. I'm gonna tell you right now, girl, if next episode don't do well, child, girl, we just gonna plaster that thing onto a regular episode with Hot Topics, girl, because I see ratings going back down again, girl, because the situation is over and now they have to find new drama. Because I don't know, child. And you know what? A lot of people were talking about this on Twitter. Like, they said that, honey, the dynamic without Portia is kind of not that bad. Because when we had the little situation, when we saw the situation with Brittany Edie and Angela, that was kind of interesting. It kind of gagged me a little bit because I'm like, oh, not they getting into it, child. I don't know. I think it's working without, the person. Like, we wanted Portia to come back, but Portia's not really bringing it. And without her, I mean, it's kind of still kind of working a little bit. I don't know. Portia is just coming off very unauthentic, and I don't know why. And I think it's because, you know, you could say she's the HBIC, but like she's been around other HBICs. And I feel like I'm not trying to say she's second fiddle, but she kind of bounces off the bigger personalities. And when she's the only personality and that's the only person that's really anchoring the show, it's just not working. Just like her standoff show did not work because she tried to control the drama and said, we don't want to talk about this or we don't want to do this. And it's just like, girl, you're on a reality TV show. And you're not showing up. So tell me what y'all think about this episode in the comments. We will be back with the next content. I'll promise I'll give you guys a hot topic show. I know I make promises and sometimes I don't keep it, but girl, look, it just was not enough topics for me to talk about. I just did not care about these topics this week, child. Okay, I will be back though. Okay, see y'all later.